your guys'?
Oh, just wait till you see what I just purchased an hour ago. I got a poster like with chakras, and I'm gonna put it right behind me. It's gonna be great.
I'm like, I don't know if I should do this or not. That's a little
Oh
bit too much.
yeah,
Nah.
there
you go.
Absolutely.
It's too branded, I think. Don't you think?
No, there's
No.
no such thing. Look at us.
Look at behind.
Look at us.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do it.
Yes.
Oh, perfect.
Yes.
The lights maybe would be.
I mean, look at Casey. He's branded in
Yeah.
the Amsterdam
Red light district.
district.
We're just doing we were doing a YouTube video today, like
Oh.
Ben was up
an hour ago.
times and pitched 2 in the third innings.
Nice.
I only heard half of what you said, dude.
Yeah.
That he was up 3 times, got on 3 times, and pitched 2 in the third innings.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
And he got beamed in the elbow.
Yeah, he probably deserved it.
You got to get him one of those elbow guards.
Have
It
you
hit
seen,
him
have you
right
seen
below
that
that.
kid?
Dude, it hurts getting hit in the elbow.
Brush it off.
I had the same old man that would hit me in the league I was playing in. Every time
It
I
was
came up-
softball.
Dude, no, it was fast pitch.
It's when you were playing adult fast pitch. He's 15.
Whatever.
If he can't take a hit from a ball, what are you going to do with him? How's he going to survive life?
You go buy a stupid pad
No.
and it forms around your elbow. It's great.
He needs to
The
tough
guy
it.
hit me in the same place every time.
No, bullshit.
It hit him below the guard.
Well, then you
Checkmate.
got to rush the mound. You got to go rush that mound.
Have you seen that kid? He doesn't rush anything, ever.
Dinner table.
Grumpy. Oh, yes, he does rush. He rushes the dinner table. You want to buy him a guard? Get him a mouth guard so he doesn't eat so much shit.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
God, this is...
It's your nephew.
Oh, that's
bro.
my nephew, by the way. Yeah.
He just wants a little Chick-fil-A for dinner. Christ. He worked hard today.
What's up, reverse people?
He deserved it.
He deserved it.
Oh, are we live now?
We're live.
been
We are
live,
live. Yep. We are
Opened up live on the shit talking. I love it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that is
Nonstop.
We don't have a
Nonstop.
show. We don't have a show if we're not doing that. It's,
Not a good one.
Yeah.
We'll have something.
Let's see. All right. Anything specific on the site you want me to touch on? The blog, your resources. I like your guys' resources content.
The Shocks 101 is really where I started. That's just like everyone can sell parts. It's easy to sell parts, but like selling all the information that a lot of the industry kind of keeps so close to their chest. It's what's the term? It's people are they don't want to give out their information, the proprietary stuff,
it
all their knowledge.
close to the vest.
Yeah,
Gated. It's like a
Before, don't ask the question, okay? That's content. Just wait.
I have questions.
yeah. So that Shocks 101 area is like really just like put all of our best stuff out there, just knowledge, but nowhere specifically on the site. We actually have a new site in development right now. I'm really, really excited about. The one we currently have right now was developed by me and my creative director, who's actually in another room, in 2017. So built from the ground up on Shopify.
Nice.
Countdown.
All right.
This is where you give a countdown.
Yes. Hold on one second. I'm trying to accomplish something else.
3 minutes past our
All
start
right.
time.
Yeah, but does anybody?
Quick math.
Everybody knows. Everybody knows.
Quick math.
All right. We're ready. We're gonna count down. 3, 2. Oh wait, hold on. I hadn't hit record on Audacity yet, so that would have been bad.
Good Lord.
3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, it is 6:30 on a Tuesday night, and we are live on YouTube as we tend to be on Tuesday nights.
6:34.
It is 6:30-ish on Tuesday night. We are
To be fair, we did log in at
Yes, we were
6:30
live at
this time.
6:30 on. Why is Matt got to make this difficult every time?
It's my job. What am I?
So
I assume that's why I'm here every week, to give you shit.
yes, well, you do a good job. We have Sean Reyes joining us tonight from shocksurplus.com. How are you doing tonight, Sean?
Pretty good. How you guys doing?
Good.
Great.
Good. I appreciate you joining us. We had a little bit of pre-show chat, and you were saying that somebody dropped one of our cards on your Tacoma a couple years ago up in Big Bear, and that was my little brother, who is a what's the opposite of a whore? Like, if you're giving it out, it's like he's a card whore. Like, I guess he's a card. He gives out.
He's a pimp.
He's a maybe
Card pimp.
No,
he
there's
gives
no.
out.
He's a whore. There's
Is
no
he?
opposite of whore is like he's hoarding.
Oh yes,
cards.
because he's not hoarding. Correct.
Yeah.
He's not hoarding it. He's giving it out. That makes sense.
We're getting in the paint deep. It's already we haven't even had any real conversation yet. And you're going
I
dark.
think he knows. He knows.
Okay.
So if you guys have not already, please go to shocksurplus.com. You can find them on Instagram at Shock Surplus. They have a very, very cool YouTube channel, Shock Surplus. Sean, tell us, let's start with, you're at Shock Surplus. We can see the cool logo in the background we just talked about. So where is Shock Surplus located?
We're over here in Irwindale, so 20 minutes east of Los Angeles. Yeah, we originally started in my bedroom in a crappy 2-bedroom apartment, and eventually just grew and grew. And we were at a WeWork for a year or so, and then we were at a place over off Jefferson and near downtown LA that got broken into a couple times, and then we've grown to the level. We're in a 2,000 square foot industrial building, half office, half warehouse. So that's where we're at now, and we'll be going on 3 years now. When the lease is up, we might be upgrading even further.
So
we'll see.
So 2019 is when this started?
Well, the company started back in 2013. This location, 2019, though. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. So tell me more about Shock Surplus as a whole, and then we'll hone in on your operation here in Southern California.
Yeah, we're just a big retailer of all the major brands. So Fox, King, Icon, Bill Stein, Rancho, Skyjacker, ProComp, you name them all. KW, H&R. So everything we do that you guys are familiar with in the off-road space, in the trail space and whatnot. We also do the same thing over in the track world as well. So BMWs, Audis, Porsches, and all that level of high speed performance as well. And so most of it's in the off-road space, because that's just kind of, I'm always been a camper and a mountain biker and a hiker at heart. And so the kind of natural overlay of that. But been to the racetrack quite a few times in Buttonwillow and Willow Springs on 2 wheels and 4 wheels. So I like speed a lot. So
Yep.
Yeah.
I was going to say he's qualified. He qualified his knowledge because he pronounced Bill Stein
Correctly.
There we
correctly
go.
and not Bill Steen.
That was the test.
That was right out the gate. He didn't even know that was a test. And he passed it.
And the only reason you know that is because you got yelled at when you were drunk at Off-Road Expo. That's
But I remember,
which
didn't I?
does surprise me.
Not drunk enough.
Oh, that's awesome.
Sean, we should hang out.
Yeah.
Dude. Right now, I think we should just be hanging out.
So
Do it.
So let's go back. Like you talked about being a camper and off-roader and all that stuff. Let's go back to that. So when did all that stuff start for you? Did you grow up being a camper and a hiker and all that stuff?
My dad, me and my dad used to go to Baja all the time. We have a trailer. We have a trailer down there as well. So we'd go down to Punta Baja and San Quintin and the Bay of LA. It's all over just Baja doing fishing stuff. My dad was a huge fisherman and part of the fishing club. And we'd roll down there. And in retrospect, I looked back at all the old photos, and it's all first gen, second gen 4Runners and Land Cruisers on big tires, and these guys were doing it big back then. My dad had a I think it was 84 Bronco on 35s, and
Nice.
when you're a little kid, that thing looks monstrous,
It's
right?
like a
But
monster
now it's
truck.
but now it's that's average, I guess.
Well, now an '84 Bronco you can get $50,000 for if you wanted to.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much those things are now.
I know. I've thought about getting my dad a replacement Bronco in his old age, just to be a nice son, right? But so yeah, we kind of, that's always been kind of thing. And I'm not like an outdoorsman, whatever, but outdoor sports, mountain biking, and all that stuff. In '06, I got a Tacoma after I crashed a couple motorcycles and decided to stay off two wheels. So yeah, '06 got my Tacoma and was never really in the off-road space at all. But my stepdad, who ran a little company called B&S Suspension, his kind of pedigree has always been in like the coil spring and suspension space. So he worked with the guys and kind of trained the guys behind like DJM suspension and Bell Tech. And he founded ST Suspension, which KW Suspension now owns. He knows, Wilford Eibach, the guy behind Eibach as well. So like, he goes way back, and he's my stepdad. So he kept asking me if I wanted to run a sales team out of like, a little podunk shop out in Anaheim. It's just like a single roll up door shop. And I'm like, I'm not really into that. But I was working at a video game company for a couple of years and got passed up for a promotion there. Some of your listeners might know Blizzard Entertainment.
Maybe.
I owe a divorce to Blizzard and World of Warcraft. To be honest with you.
I got passed up for a lot of positions at Blizzard too, so yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, so I used to work on World of Warcraft and StarCraft, but after being passed up, I decided to go, help him out, check it out, see what's up. Mainly out of a kind of a small business perspective rather than like an automotive kind of perspective. But quickly found out that he had no website, and they were pretty small time, and they were doing well and everything, but like the internet presence back in 07, 08 was, completely different than it is right now, right? And so it was just eBay back then, and you've probably heard the dirty word drop shipping, but that was kind of brand new back then as well. And so I got my hands on
StarCraft, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Sort of, right?
Yeah, freaking drop the Terran on the Zerg and blow them up.
Dude.
All right.
Sorry.
Look, that's a whole nother
I'm a
show.
pro toss kind of guy, but
I heard you're a pro at toss. So you're a Southern California native guy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, born and raised like LA County and just bounced around LA County and SoCal, and yeah, pretty much spent a lot of time Angeles Crest on two wheels and Big Bear on four wheels.
Yeah, we Casey and I spent a lot of time on two wheels, probably for about 3-4 years. And to your point, like especially as I got remarried and had a kid, I went back to my off-road roots just because I figured I wouldn't, knowing me, I wouldn't make it very long.
Survive longer.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't get any credit for being a two-wheel person in that time frame.
Nah.
You're a dirt bike guy. I mean,
well, that's what I'm saying. Like that's two wheels. That's legit two wheels.
So
hashtag legit two wheels.
Legit two wheels. I own it.
Yes.
So let's go back. When was that time when you made the shift from Blizzard to your stepdad's shop?
Oh, that was about 07, 08, right before they reset like that. The recession that knocked like a bunch of people out, and that was like I think the first SEMA I went to, FabTech had like a 2-story booth. And like these big, FabTech Pro Comp and Skyjacker were really like the Rancho were really like the only big names in our little space that we call the industry now. But
yeah, and it's interesting to going back to that time frame. You mentioned those names where there were only a handful of names that you would see stickers on Jeeps or on trucks driving on the road, and it was Rancho, it was FabTech, it was those things.
They named them all.
Yeah, I know. And but what I'm like today, it seems like the market is so much more diverse, and you've got way more options as a consumer, and you've got some companies focusing on this portion of the niche, and on this portion of the niche.
I mean, people are out there four-wheeling Frontiers and shit these days.
I know.
It's crazy.
They got to put some serious shots on those. So how do you make the transition from working at your stepdad's shop to Shock Surplus? Like how does that happen?
We we were so my stepdad was like one of the not he was importing stuff from Taiwan and China, and that's how we were doing a lot of our wholesale business. So we already had a pretty good wholesale business at BNS, and I'm like, let's stop selling, like, it's in a plain white box, it's pretty crappy powder coating, and there's no instructions, but like we had a pretty good network of just wholesalers around SoCal and NorCal that were buying from us. And I'm thinking, like, I'm enterprising where I'm like, let's just like touch it up a little bit and sell it for a lot more. So we made the powder coating a lot better. We made the boxes a little bit better, made instructions better. We branded it Max Track Suspension. So you guys may have heard of Max Track Suspension. Yeah, so we founded that company. And then 08, 09, 2010, recession happened. And we ended up selling, or my stepdad ended up selling the business, and I stuck around with the new owners of Max Track. So that was 2010, 2011, 2012, and eventually just kind of butted heads a little bit too much. And I just going from a stepdad boss to, a real boss, like there was only so much I can tolerate there. So I just knew there was so much. Everyone with lifted trucks, right? The second and third and fourth and fifth owners have no idea what they bought. They just have a big jacked up vehicle. They have no idea what's underneath it, and so everyone's like, they don't know what kind of shocks they need. They don't know what shocks are on it. Do I need a factory shock? Do I need a longer shock? How long of a shock do I need? All these really basic questions we kind of take for granted. I just decided to start, helping people there and selling shocks on the side when I was at Max Track. And eventually it was just like, well, I'm making more on eBay than I am at my day job. So
it's not a bad position to be in.
Yeah, like just I was up till 1 or 2 o'clock every morning making eBay listings, and then jumping on the bike at 5 a.m. to go commute to work, and then rinse repeat for a few months. So yeah, kind of that's how it started back in 2013.
Wow. Okay. So you turn this side hustle, and then I don't know, you hear all these conversations about side hustles, right? And a lot of times those side hustles just end up being you and your buddies sitting in a spare bedroom for the next 6 years, and that's really all as far as it goes. But you took the side hustle and you were able to convert it, make the transition into a full time. How long was that side hustle before you made the commitment to go full time?
I mean, I really only had it up for like I think 4 months. My first sale was like August like 15th or something. And when it started catching traction, I started my attitude at work just started really plummeting. So I'm gonna I'll admit to being a freaking jerk maybe. But in the following January, I just quit outright, and it was one of those kind of burn the boats kind of thing. Like, I've got to make this work. Yeah. And it wasn't too. There was a lot of tools that you could cheat with on eBay, where you can used to be able to see all the sold listings of a given item or whatever. And so I was basically looking at what was already selling on eBay and duplicating or making it better on this other stuff. And so that kind of just motivated me to get going. But there was a lot of challenges over the next couple of years dealing with eBay, dealing with that amount of money that we were kind of bringing in, and all that kind of stuff.
So you needed help, like spending money? Like, where was I during all this time? That's what I just heard right there.
Well, my stepdad, sorry, Bill, but my stepdad could not manage eBay accounts to save his freaking life. And so his account got banned, and then my account that was connected to it got banned because I was associated to his account from like an email address.
See, that's what I keep telling Matt with some of these YouTube algorithms, that he's using these YouTube algorithms in my house on my internet. It's going to come back to me.
That's right.
Yeah. So eBay would just turn on.
That's his plan. Yeah. So did Shock? So that side hustle transition, was that the beginning of Shock Surplus?
Yep.
So you started it as an eBay, primarily an eBay distribution network, essentially.
Yeah. Just making every Pro Comp and Rancho and Skyjacker listing I can make, like
No
for
kidding.
like
So
2 years straight.
Were you buying them wholesale through your connections and then retailing them through eBay?
Yep. Yeah, we were just drop shipping. I mean, we really just started drop shipping, and if you Google drop shipping, there's millions of results, and it's a kind of a dirty word in our industry, but like even to this day, there's so much opportunity, and I'm probably giving a lot of people the idea to go compete with us and have at it if you want to. But it's not hard because a lot of the distributors in this space, they have drop ship programs. You just be like, you sign up with them and they'll give you the pricing and make it happen.
It's becoming more the norm now. Not with just the stuff that we do in our industry, but with shirts, with.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Does this have something to do with the internet? This drop shipping
no,
thing?
so drop shipping
you have to know about internet and
There's
stuff?
2 P's in shipping?
I want to take advantage of what he's saying because this sounds great.
Correct.
Me and Matt are going to start a
www dropship?
No,
money.
So back in the day, if you wanted to be a company that sold shocks, you would have to buy shocks in bulk, hold them in inventory, and then you do the shipping out. Now, as a drop ship retailer, you have all the website and the marketing, and you collect all the money, and then you place the order with the shock company, and they ship it direct. So you can do this with many products where you're not, for example, our shirts and stuff on our store. We don't buy those shirts in bulk, bring them to my house, and then package them up when somebody orders them. They get drop shipped from the manufacturer straight to the consumer. So it's a way to be a retailer of a product without having to have a warehouse of inventory or purchase up front.
On demand inventory. That's exactly right. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. So it is internet. Okay.
Super internet.
But I guess my point is that's whether it be drop shipped through a retailer or a certified reseller or drop shipped from a manufacturer, that's becoming a norm. It's not an uncommon thing. I bet back when you guys started it was, but I think today it's more common than not.
It is. Yeah. A lot of people catching on. I mean, in the automotive space too, in the automotive aftermarket space, most people are far behind like normal retail and normal tech as far as just like technology adoption. They've had drop shipping going on in normal retail for decades, but the automotive space is always a little bit slower to kind of adopt all this stuff, and so that's why I kind of jumped on it early, because I was like, wow, no one else is doing this. But now it's like you go on eBay and there's 10, 20 copies of listings that we made back then now spread everywhere on all the brands. Like numerous people are using our pictures, and there's no hope of erasing all of that. But yeah, very popular now.
Why do you
think, getting more so?
Why do you think it is that the automotive industry is slow to adopt new technologies, new ideas?
I think it's most of it is like older gentlemen that have ran their shops for 20, 30 years. Yeah. Old guys that have, had their shops and their suspension shops or their muffler shops or whatever. And, the just slow tech adoption in general.
I think that plays to a lot of industries. So Matt and I come from the air conditioning industry. We saw some of the same thing in 2007, 2008. I was working for a manufacturer trying to help go, hey, look at these tools and these apps. And they were like, whoa. No, I go knock on a door. I sell an air conditioning unit. I collect the money. That's how the business works. And you're like, that's not how it's going to work.
They write a check.
Yes, they write. I get a check. I take that check. I endorse the back. But I think that time frame that you're talking about, whether it was the automotive industry or the air conditioning industry or construction or anything else, there was this period of time where we've always done it this way, and this is how we're going to do it in the future. There was a gap right in the middle, and it sounds like you were on the front of that gap to be able to get into doing some of this stuff early.
Yeah, I mean, look, if the world, just in general, the world has changed so freaking much since like 2005, 2010, as far as like Shopify and how far Amazon's come and everything, internet, and everything has changed so dramatically that most businesses and business models are kind of still catching up. And so that's why it's kind of easy to be like, oh yeah, old white guys in their businesses in the old school. But really, like when you look at it, it's really only like 5-7 years of a period where like stuff has changed so dramatically, and you can look on it and be like, they didn't adopt fast enough. But it really depends on if you're out front of it and how fast you adopt.
So I was going to say, going into shock surplus, like, what is the advantage? I kind of poked around, but you guys provide like kind of more of a service with your website. Can you describe your website and what you guys do?
Yeah, most shops are going to be pretty loyal to a couple brands, 2 or 3 brands maybe, and that's because like back to when you're buying direct, you're buying direct from Bilstein or Fox or King, you build up that relationship, and you're placing POs consistently, keep everything in stock, and that's that exists in every facet, right? Whereas we have a very wide distribution network. We have 9 distribution partners that cover 33 suspension brands, and so we kind of use all of that as a strength of like comparison. Everyone's comparing product, right? If you got a Tacoma and you're just first upgrading, you're comparing the 51 Bilstein with a Fox 2.0 or an Ibach or whatever the case may be. Now kind of build that out across thousands of applications and thousands of or millions of people asking the same questions, right? So we're kind of using a little bit of an unbiased approach to comparing this to comparing that on the basics. If it's all the ride characteristics that you kind of get into when you're considering these different things. And the other thing is like customer service. You guys have probably heard lots of horror stories lately with COVID and just in general. We very much pride ourselves on fast response, customer service, and being able to talk directly to suspension. Like, how many other brands are selling everything? Big garages are selling everything. Rock Auto is selling literally everything.
Yeah.
All the Car ID, auto parts warehouse, they sell everything, right? There's no specialty. And so when I was thinking back in 2013, where we can help out most and where there's enough business to sustain myself, it was just like, well, shocks, everything is marketing language. And so we kind of aim to like demystify all that marketing language. Even to this day, only Bilstein says their shocks are digressive valving. All these other brands aren't like talking about like the key component to their product, like what kind of valving is it? Show me a dyno chart. They're not doing that.
Yeah.
Right. No truck company is providing dyno charts to their shocks. A bunch of car manufacturers are, because those guys are ahead of the curve and a much more competitive space. So we really just dive super deep into suspension, and all the guys here are like enthusiasts, just like me, just like you guys, out on the trail or out on the racetrack and testing all these different parts. And we're for King of the Hammers, we basically installed Bilstein 5100s on 3 vehicles because we were about to leave for KOH, and a week before I was like, wait, all you guys have stock suspension right now in your new trucks? It's like fuck that. So
I love it.
Like let's get 5100s on all of them and see what happens, because 2 of them were towing. One was towing a Can-Am and one was towing a trailer, and I was in both the news. Like, I don't know how the new Silverados and GM vehicles come off a lot with those shitty shocks, because I
don't know why they even make a GMs anymore. Honestly, I mean, who's driving a Silverado other than like a busted ass air conditioning guy that happens.
My
to
brother
be
just bought a GMC, like the AT4, whatever,
$80,000
truck.
They're not relevant. They're not relevant anymore.
I'll make sure to let them know.
Chris, if you're listening, it's not a viable platform for an off-road vehicle.
Oh,
no, but so going back to Matt's very good question, by the way, which I'm impressed with. The
once
shocks,
in a while I come out of
pull one
the
off
ether like just I
out of
swoop
nowhere.
Broken clocks right twice a day.
Yeah,
I'll shut up now for a few weeks.
On shocksurplus.com, you've got the option where you can search by your vehicle and then select a couple different products and compare them side by side.
That is very unique.
Yes, it is.
I found that extremely unique and helpful because
it's not working as well as I want it right now, but we're gonna.
It worked great looking at my truck.
Nice.
And I found that extremely useful to even, and for me, if I'm gonna spend hard-earned money, I'm gonna like research the shit out of it. And it's like, with what do I really know, especially if you're like intermediate level, or just maybe you don't understand the concepts all that much. And then you try going to different websites, and it's just like you said, like, maybe the wording isn't the same, or you don't know you're not really comparing apples to apples, and you kind of get that at your website. It's like, oh, okay, like it's more user friendly, and it's in front of you. I thought that was really impressive.
Well, and it goes even further than that. So I'm the type of person that if I'm going to spend that kind of money on suspension, which none of this is cheap, right? I'm going to have a spreadsheet and do all that stuff. Not everybody's going to do that. So I'll
do a spreadsheet.
You guys have got it broken down. You've got a blog section and a resource section. The resource section has Shock Buyer's Guide, Shocks 101, and then you combine that with the work that you're doing on your YouTube channel. It's more than just a buy this product.
Yeah, you're not a surplus store.
Yes.
You're providing valuable information, and as somebody, like, I would be loyal to that. Like, thank you for providing this information and imparting that knowledge to me. Now, when I go to purchase something, I'd go through you for helping me out.
The surplus name the surplus name was kind of just like, I didn't really think about it too much, but back then, but now I'm just like, oh, a lot of people think it's, secondhand product or whatever, but really it's just like, more of a, we've got everything, and we're trying to be like
the surplus
the
of products. Yep.
Yeah. We're trying to be like the Bible of the whole niche.
Now, I find it interesting that you were working in tech and gaming, and the first time that your stepfather said, "Hey, how about you come to the business?" You're like, "No, I'm too cool for that." And now, look what you've built from it. Do you ever think back, and does he ever have any comments at the Thanksgiving table like, "Jackass, you could have got into this earlier"?
Yeah, he is constantly just like completely baffled at our sales.
How come it seems like half your questions are about revenge, or
I just been in a spiteful mood lately, I guess.
Didn't you rub it in his nose that he's not involved anymore?
No.
I wanted him to work, I wanted him to work for me now, because he's got an awesome engineering mind and just smart on the product side of things. But yeah, there's my mom always just like, oh, you guys are fucking talking now again, and she'll just like walk out of the room.
Oh, dude, that's my family, my immediate family. When we get together, we talk air conditioning and heating, and my wife hates it. All the wives hate it. Like, oh god, here they go. It's 3 hours worth of
cool.
Yeah, it's 3 hours of, well, I installed a 110 ton air handler, whatever. Ooh, I'm sure that's what it's like with your stepdad.
Yeah.
So you said that the website, now, if I remember correctly, the website didn't look like this a year ago.
We're tuning it up, so it's looked like this for a few years now, about since 2017.
Okay.
But we've got a new update coming along, and just to make it a little bit more cohesive, like you guys were saying earlier, like the Shocks 101 and the Buyer's Guide is really that's like where the focus is at. And I'm trying to be we're trying to be a more of a media education business that sells parts, and not like a parts business that like dabbles in education or media. Like I said, anyone can go and drop ship our exact same parts. We got competitors all over the place, but taking the time to deep dive for the audience and the customers, like that's where the gold really is.
Mm-hmm. And looking at your line card, you've got 18 roughly 18 different brands listed on
He
the.
said 30.
Oh, that's right.
Earlier.
You did say 33.
33.
Not everything's added.
What was that? I mean, when you first started doing this with the drop shipping, and then you decided to expand, what was that process like of going to some of these companies and going, okay, hey, look, I got this thing, and I want you to be part of it, or like, how does someone go about that?
There's the thing about our industry is that like it's so big and the volume is so massive on these products that like you can't go to Billstein and buy direct from them. Like you can't go buy. I can't go buy. I still with 7 figures in sales, and Billstein can't buy Billstein 5100s directly from Billstein. Same thing with like Fox. You could buy direct from King, Icon, Radflow, ADS, and some of these other brands, but like the big global brands, you can't buy direct because their volume is so massive. They go through 4 Wheel Parts or Premier Distributing or these other big distributors, and so we just started from there. We didn't even we just started with our distributors, and their introductory pricing was good enough, and so we kind of just that really started where the everyman can start, really.
Yeah. And then I would think that as the breadth of product line expanded, and then you got deeper into the tools and the education piece, was that ramp up slow, or were you like hitting it hard and it skyrocketed from day one?
It was pretty slow. I mean, I wouldn't say slow. We've been growing 100% year over year for like 6 years, 6 or 7 years.
That's impressive.
It's been wild. But like, because we started with the big brands, it's easy to go, Fox, Billstein, Rancho are probably the top 3 brands in our category that sell the most and sell the most globally. So you can literally just make a business selling those 3 brands if you wanted to. But like the breadth of options is really what we were kind of going for. So right now it's kind of a slow addition to the brand, kind of the brand line. So like we bring on a new brand like KW or I don't know what's one of our newer IBOC just came out with their new 2.0 coilovers in the past couple of years, and they're making a little bit more of a push in the off-road space. So we've worked with them, but we try to really. We look at a brand, and then we look at like, do we have a vehicle that we can test it on? Can we acquire a vehicle to test it on? And we've had some brands come to us and just like want us to, sell their parts. And I'm like, well, we've never ran your stuff before. You don't actually have anything for any of our vehicles. It's because we don't want to just throw a product and have nothing to say about it. That's what most people do.
Well, that's the difference between being a seller and an enthusiast that's educating.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. So trying to, and we can't we can't realistically recommend stuff that we have no idea about. So, when we a couple weeks ago, we sent out 4 guys out in our Ranger. So we're basically the buyer's guide thing. We've just started on the brand new Ranger, and I'm sending the staff here out on every iteration of that suspension up to Pilot Rock and Cleghorn and Johnson Valley, and just being like, the before, take notes, the after, take notes, next version, take notes, kind of this kind of thing. And even then, even on just 2 outings, they're talking about how much they're car guys, and so now they're like, oh, now this makes so much sense what the fuck you guys are talking about all the time.
Well, and I own the Ranger, and we did a before and after, and that stock Ranger FX4 suspension is super springy and bouncy and not enjoyable at all. And then I think if someone were to
why do they even make those?
Because they're the best truck in the world. I think
dribbling punchy.
I think the opportunity for someone to experience that before and after is huge. It definitely makes, for someone that's not an enthusiast, that's never changed suspension on any of their vehicles, they just know a car comes with shocks, they drive it. It's not until you make an upgrade and then you feel the performance difference that you understand why someone's willing to spend somewhere between $1,000 and $5,000 to do it.
Yeah, and how hard is it to describe like what you're actually going to feel in the seat on something, right? Like, because if most people have not experienced like bottomless suspension, right? That's a term we like to use, where like on a really high end suspension, you're not hitting the top out, you're not hitting the bottom out, but it's just like super smooth and plush. People don't even have a conceptual like an idea of what that means and why to spend $3,000 or $4,000, all these high tag, high price things. And so obviously there's in betweens, but describing a feeling, that's what all these brands are trying to do in their marketing language, right? But like typically it doesn't work because no one trusts any of it.
Well, they don't have enough experience, or I mean, let's be honest. How many what percentage? I mean, I know a lot of people personally that have spent on the pretty bright blue King shocks. And they lift the truck enough to where you can see the reservoir, and ooh, look at that! And that's what they paid for.
You can see the what?
The pretty blue.
Show me where the reservoir goes, though.
Do you want me?
No,
is this helping you somehow?
Yeah, I'm just saying. You were like,
for hand gestures,
you have to watch. Okay, Sean, put those away.
Right,
put those cylindrical objects away.
Our
Matt's
YouTube channel
get too excited.
Yeah, it's rated R, rated X maybe now. But point being is, people. I know people that spend a lot of money just to have the show. Like, I have King shocks, and they're very pretty.
I thought it was like, you hear about it and you think it's hyperbole, but no, we have literal messages that I've like printed up on our wall. I just want the Kings because they're blue.
Yeah, exactly. Because
I'm like sharing that in the all chat of our company. Like, it's true, guys. I'm telling you.
100%, and then that that guy has King shocks, and I know what he spent on those.
It goes down to brand. Brand is just so powerful. I mean, just like Nike, Apple, brand is just so
100%. And did they take that truck off roading? Never.
Not at all.
Never.
The thing too is someone buys a truck, right? Like a Tacoma, they're gonna go to a Tacoma forum, and then the main three are gonna pop up, and then you dig deep enough, the same three names are gonna keep reoccurring, right? Yeah, and you're like, fine, I'll go with one of these.
Yeah.
That's so true, Jose. Yeah.
And and I think the benefit that you guys have is that you're not selling a specific brand, a specific product. You're laying it all out there and going, this is our experience with X, this is our experience with Y. Here's the pricing on all of them, and a button where you can compare the two side by side. Right? It's not. There's. I don't want to say you don't have skin in the game, but it's not like the entirety of your livelihood is dependent on one single brand being successful.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of a new motto for us is we're not trying to tell you what to run. We're trying to help you figure out what to run. And so 100%. We're kind of using. There's no one best shock for everybody, right? Yeah. You're loaded or you're unloaded. You're going fast or you're a scenic driver, or all these different configurations.
I relate to that to a conversation I had with my brother, and I was bragging about having some icons on my truck, and he's like, "Oh man, that thing must be so smooth." I'm like, "No, but when you get it out on the dirt, that thing grabs the dirt. I can do 70 miles an hour over some crazy shit and still have control of my truck."
Yeah.
Most people don't understand that. Yeah. Most people don't understand that race suspension gets smoother the faster you go.
Exactly.
It doesn't like traffic speed. It does not like.
Well, I think that's
I feel every pothole on the 10. I guarantee you.
I think that's where the problem begins. Is I don't think most people know what they want from a suspension.
100%.
And most people don't have the opportunity to test.
That's the other thing too. There's no. Where do you go to I want to try these three shocks?
Yes,
right?
I want to put these three. I want to put each one of these on my vehicle and see what each one of them is like. Most people can't do that. This is a one-time purchase. Let's go back. I bought that suspension for my Tacoma. That was a giant pile of turd, and it sucked. And I didn't have enough money to, as much as I hated it, I didn't have enough money to go, F it, I'm going to rip it out and put something new in. It was just like, you know what? It's going to make that kind of a noise, and it's going to, my kidneys are going to be shit by the time I got to Vegas. That's
what
it
wasn't
is.
that bad, dude.
You know what I'm saying?
It kind of reminded me of that, of what's his name's dog in the dirt, like all stiff and like geriatric, like, I don't like the dirt. That was your truck.
Yes. My point
what suspension was on it?
Oh, you gotta let us know.
We've never in 216 episodes, I've never once mentioned the name.
But
it's a well-known.
We might have already mentioned it.
No,
we didn't.
I've never once.
No, we've never
in this
said it.
episode. Did
we
it
have not.
come up? Oh, okay.
No, we have not said that.
Maybe I don't know what
we
it
have.
is.
Rancho Quick Lift.
We have not said the name, and I did not see it on any of your list of products. So you're saying,
Okay. Okay, interesting.
But what we do know is
it's there. He did mention it already.
no.
The components of that kit are
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
The shocks, but the total suspension
No.
package was
Yeah.
it's not there. And my point being is this is a very expensive. This is a very big investment.
So
and people don't get the chance to
but
test
that's
multiple
kind of the thing, though. If you're buying it for show, you can't lose.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
Yeah,
you're buying Kings, and it's just because you want it to look good on your truck. Then you can't lose. You know what you're buying, and you're getting that. But if you're actually looking for performance, and look, I want something that's going to work and be durable, and I'm going to beat the shit out of it or whatever. Now you get into like, oh man, how do I go about this?
and that's another big part of it. They think by being more expensive, it's going to be better,
Yes,
but that
and
doesn't
that's not the
necessarily
case.
correlate.
That's not the case. The most expensive X brand may not be the right fit for your vehicle, for
Or
your
your
driving
driving-
style,
yeah.
or your, I think there's
Right. Right now, I'm doing exactly that. So I've had a 2006 Tacoma, and I have about 300,000 miles on it. It died. The engine died after going. A long story short, but I acquired a 2020 Power Wagon because I've never had a heavy duty vehicle. I've never had a live solid front axle vehicle, and so I'm like, we're gonna get a heavy duty vehicle. Tons of our customers drive these, obviously. So let's go see what's up. Put a Carly suspension kit on it, and we're starting with the commuter kit, backcountry kit, Kingpin top, and then the Dominator. So basically, just a progression of their shock packages. And I just basically made a video wrapped up on my final thoughts on the reservoir, the Fox 2.0 reservoirs. I feel like they're almost too soft compared to the normal Fox 2.0 IFP, and so I'm like, this is actually, I actually don't like these because they're too soft for me. Because I'm like, I'm a little bit overlanding, a little bit trail, slow, a lot of shit in the back with camping, and there's just a little bit too much body roll with this soft shock. So I'm like, I actually kind of want to return to the normal IFPs because they're low speed valving. I felt it was just better for what I do. And just recently, I've talked a guy out of reservoirs for his farm truck. Like it's probably not
for his tractor.
farm truck,
Well, I like to get from my house to the farm as fast as I possibly can.
But yeah, no, like handling loads, people want like the flash of the deal. I'm like, well, you can actually spend less, get more, and then put that money into a vacation or some time off.
Yeah, again, just because it has a reservoir doesn't mean it can handle more load. That's not what it's designed to do. I think
Exactly.
that knowledge or lack of knowledge about what those components do is part of the anxiety that people have when they go to buy something.
But you also don't realize, like, people just see the reservoir and assume, oh yeah, I got to have that reservoir. Like, do you? Do you have to have a reservoir for, because you're going to the mall? Like, probably not, but again, where do you get that knowledge? Like, where do you get that? And I think
people like Jose on the forum, noob, dumb noob.
I just think I think what Sean's doing is like it's like a
service.
It is a service. Thank you. It is a service to the community, just to provide that extra insight, that extra valuable insight. It doesn't even mean that it's pushing you in a direction. It's just keeping you informed or making sure you're aware of your options, basically.
And we're not like shock tuners here, and we're not racers or like engineers or anything. Like, we're not, we just recently started a kind of a shock, rebuild and service kind of service. But we're not tuning shocks for
we call it like scientists. So you could say you're not shock scientists.
Yeah.
We're not tire scientists, though we do.
We're not scientists.
We're
Period.
not podcast scientists.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm no kind of scientist at all. Jose went to school to be a math scientist, but that didn't work out.
I dropped out of college, so
yeah,
I should have.
Yeah. So if we go back to 2013 in your bedroom starting this drop shipping business.
Well, why did it have to be his bedroom?
Because that's what he said. He said he started it in his spare bedroom.
He said,
Yeah.
I'm
My
gonna
cat.
Said it.
I'm
The
gonna
way you said it.
it did get a little weird.
Why do we got to get back? All right, go on. I'm sorry.
I want to get back to the bedroom at all
I
times,
can't.
at all costs.
gotta
But
log off.
thinking about where you're at now, I mean, in a relatively small amount of time, you've gone from the spare bedroom to a shop to now where you're at today.
Now you're working next to Matt.
Yeah, now you can see Matt's truck during the week. That-
Right down on the corner there.
Yeah, but usually you're on the corner with a sign.
Yeah.
Like,
I gotta pay my bills, Cody.
Is it at all close to what you imagined? I mean, when you started this, has it gone in a linear path to where you thought it was going to be, or have you made some veering off of the road here and there to come to this point?
It's kind of, so I built it mainly to be work anywhere, or just a remote independent location business. I really drank the fucking Kool-Aid from Tim Ferriss back in 07, 08, right?
4 hour work.
And I was like,
Yes.
Yep. That set me on this path. So I hired virtual assistants.
Who
They
is
helped
this
me out.
person? Wait, what? You guys knew?
4 hour work
Oh
week.
yeah, Tim Ferriss. He's an author, a productivity offer, 4 hour work week, and he's basically saying anything that if you can pay someone overseas to do it, outsource that shit. Like it's yeah.
All right, I'll start looking for my replacement for the podcast.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we're a lot further than I ever expected. There was a point where it was like, I mean, yeah, it just kind of kept growing and growing, and just hiring more, and it just continued being fun. The past year or two has not been so fun with growing pains and COVID and all that stuff, but just the feedback that we get now on like YouTube and all the emails of positivity really keeps me going, because that I think about how much more we can just help in a space that I think just continually just needs it all the time, because there's still all that forum disinformation everywhere.
Yeah.
Facebook group disinformation. So we're trying to just do that, and that's why we went really aggressive on YouTube a couple of years ago, which is just no one wants to read. I'm just going to make videos talking about the product instead, right? And so that's kind of where that all stemmed from. And we don't really have a big channel, but
Well, I mean, you've got almost 11,000 followers. You've got if you go to Shock Surplus on YouTube, you'll find a bunch of videos. And it's not just off-roading. It looks like you've got a bunch of videos on towing, on street vehicles, on all anything related to suspension and shocks. How much of your personal time is going into the YouTube now?
Probably not too much. I'd say probably 10% of my time.
Okay.
As an operator of the business. Like right now I'm down at the shop, and I'm down here for 4 days, and we'll use one of the days just to record probably 3 or 4 videos on talking about product or a comparison. We've got a Ranger. We're continuing the Ranger buyer's guide on Thursday, so installing some Fox 2.0 coilovers, and then 2 weeks from now we'll be doing the iBox 2.0 coilovers. And so we're constantly just like, what vehicle can we upgrade or update, what comparison can we do here and there. I just did like an unboxing on some Falcon parts, so unboxing is not too unique, but like we have gobs of FAQs that we address with the unboxing. So we tons of questions come inbound from our customers every day. We probably answer like 300 emails, 300 questions a day. So kind of use that to funnel all of our content.
And I would think at this point you guys know what people want to hear, right? I'm going to unbox this, and these are the 5 questions I get. What's it feel like? What's the powder coat like? What's the the eyelets look like? And to where you can, just like you do with everything else, compare, do an unboxing that compares it to the standard of what you guys have developed over time. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's using the audience to really direct the content, because that's what they want to hear. YouTube comments and product Q&As, all for the audience, really.
With
just 1 second, real quick.
Yeah.
Sorry, my power is about to run out on this laptop. So.
No worries. No, if it does, then we'll talk to you tomorrow. With all the stuff that you're doing from business development and growth and marketing and YouTube, which part of it is your favorite part?
Oh, that's a good question. Really, the content and the YouTube side of things. I don't really consider my being the personality thing or being on YouTube is very new to me and whatnot. But I built it so I can travel a lot and just be independent and travel and just see the world, and so that's what I like doing. But with our growth and everything that's been going on, I'm still very much in the operations. But being on the trail is really where I like to be. And so that's trail running. We've been down to South America a lot on foot, on bike. Have a lot of ideas and a lot of places I still want to go. We might be doing Alaska later part of this year.
Wow.
So
we can't figure out how to put together a trip in Death Valley, and you're going to Alaska. That's cool, and it makes me feel awesome. What's your favorite kind of trail running?
Easy mountainous stuff. You're I've been a Uray probably the past couple of years, and just easygoing stuff like that is really my jam. But also in December, me and some of the crew from here, we went to Mammoth right before the big storm, camped out during the storm. So we were camping in the snow, and then we were hitting the mountain, snowboarding during the day, and then doing night runs. And so really just like exploring and just finding new spots. I don't know.
And it's pretty consistent with us. I mean, we like to do the fast stuff like in Johnson Valley or whatever, but most of the time we're exploring. It's trail running where it's scenery. It's just not answering emails at work. It's just getting out.
Campfire talk, baby.
Campfire talk is our favorite. And
you get into a situation where you're hanging out with friends, and you set up camp, and you got a nice fire going, and maybe the whiskey.
Maybe you have a couple cocktails, and then maybe they make you turn on a microphone, and then maybe you sound like a jackass for 25.
You probably
30
embarrass
minutes.
yourself in front of your coworkers.
We've got quite a few videos that have never been published.
Oh yeah. We've got an episode.
We're too stupid to not do that. We just post all our dumbass comments.
Well, look,
at this we don't know any better.
People know what they're getting with us. There's no standard in which we could drop below at this point. They recognize it.
Live on what?
Live on what? So do you do your trail runs mostly down here in Southern California or up near Tahoe, or are you just kind of all over?
Kind of all over. SoCal trails are just so freaking crowded ever since kind of COVID started, and I'm not blaming anyone or anything like that, but mostly up in one of the reasons why we moved to Tahoe, why I moved the family up there, is just it's literally an unlimited amount of trails up in that area around the Lake Tahoe is obviously the big tourist spot, but all the BLM and national forest land around there, you can get lost for days and never see the same thing. We've been Utah a lot. I really like Utah. Colorado's a new favorite, and probably go to Montana and a lot more of Oregon this year if I can. But really trying to stay north in the forest and in the coolness. I'm pretty, growing up in SoCal, I'm pretty over the desert, and I don't mind it. But man, this last King of the Hammers was so freaking dusty and cold. It was
Go on.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yes.
You're hitting a sweet spot for me.
Oh yeah,
because it was
we
good God.
So we were there, but we never camp at Hammer. We've been there. I don't know how many years I've been.
It was still dusty.
But I'm just saying,
not as
we
dusty
don't
where
camp
we were.
at Hammertown because I feel like you need a medical assistant to keep you alive while you're in San. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
maybe some security with you.
Yes,
and I'm not saying
a flak
that
jacket.
It's just
I've been quite a few years, and this is the first year where all my water is frozen in the morning to where I can't.
It was cold as
God.
Balls.
Really pissed me off.
Yeah, it was bad. But I love the fact that you going back to not just being someone that's selling a product, being an enthusiast, testing these things, taking a vehicle, putting 4 or 5 different suspensions on it, driving it around, and going, basically, this is how I feel about these things. Here's the things you need to know. Because again, for most people, dropping this kind of cash on a suspension upgrade, it's frantic. It's unnerving.
And we've tried to do, with my Tacoma, I've done like a little bit of everything. Like I had an Icon Stage 8 that just you could rip through the desert at 80 miles an hour, and like I've scared myself, and I'm like, I don't know how this thing is staying planted, but this shit is awesome. And then I switched over to like the BP51s, which is like way more of a trail shock with all the adjustability, and didn't do as well high speed, but I was like, I actually just liked it better because it was handling the load better. So like
someone like Matt, you give Matt the ability to go high speed, then I'm going to have to raise his kids because he's not going to make it out.
But I mean, that's an agreement we've already established, right? You will raise my kid.
Along those lines, I have a question, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but doing all these comparisons to each other, to shocks with each other, have you gotten any feedback from any of these companies saying like, don't talk negative about my product, or take whatever, take down your review or whatever?
I have not, no. And I don't think that we've ever, I really try hard to like keep it, the scientific approach and like
more fact-based.
Not necessarily like I don't like it, but more of like this is not appropriate for this.
Right. It's all about tone.
Well, and let's be honest. I think for every manufacturer of all different products, there is a use case in which it works.
Yeah.
There is a use case in which it doesn't, right? And if you keep it to that level, like you're not saying don't buy this shock ever. You're saying if you drive this type of a vehicle with this type of a load and you do
which
this kind
is 100% true.
Yeah, there's a use case for every product.
Yeah, he's not being like, this shock is a piece of shit. Don't buy this.
He's just saying, well, I would use this if I were going to get groceries. This is the shock that I would use.
I've kind of dumped on a couple types of shocks, but like I think we're a little bit too small still for them to care. So
we've dumped on a couple products too.
We've got product fixed though. We've got product fixed really fast, with a couple reviews. So
that's good.
Yeah,
I just think that there's a use case for every product in every situation, and there's a budget for everybody. Like there's enough people, especially going back to how you're talking about how COVID has brought a lot of people out to the trail and into our hobby. There's a point now where there's a niche and a market and a demographic for all of these products, and there's no reason why everybody can't get their piece of the pie and everybody lives happily ever after. It's just a matter of finding that niche for each one of these products.
My budget's like $20. Like, there's something for me.
eBay, stock. Get some eBay stocks. Has
there been any product that was priced at a certain price point, and then you're like, man, this thing is too good? It's like it punches above its weight. Like, has there been like a standout shock?
Yeah, the Trail Chaser podcast. You get it for free.
There is one that we've been talking about, which is the Bilstein 6112. They've arrived. Bilstein was back in the 80s and 90s. They were huge in off road, and now all the Baja trucks were running Bilstein. And then they kind of just, I don't know what happened, but now King and Fox started eating their lunch. But now they have their 6112, which is a 2.5-inch body shock.
Yeah.
That's below everyone else, Eibach and Fox's 2.0 coilover. And so we're constantly talking about that as far as just like 2.5-inch body shock for less than a 2.0 coilover. Like, it's kind of a no-brainer, what's another? I mean, the BP50 old man Emu BP51s are pricey, but like I think we've moved a lot of Fox 2.5 and King 2.5 customers out of those because most people that go to Fox or King, it's just just brand awareness, right? They don't really know what else is out there.
Bright blue, baby.
Yeah, BP51s are just like incredible because what a lot of off-road companies haven't really done, or they're catching up to do, but rebound adjustment, right? Everyone has compression adjustment or dual speed compression adjustment, but no one's got rebound, and rebound I think is one of the main factors in just controlling ride comfort,
especially off road.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And washboard makes a big difference there too. So like, I think those two products would stand out in my mind as far as like offerings that other people are kind of playing catch up to.
No. The rebound thing, I remember when we did the Icon ride and drive, that the conversation was like my stock FX4, you could slam into a dip and you wouldn't bottom out. But the back end sprung so hard, you thought you were going to do an end like that.
You thought you'd go end over
like that rebound.
Go over the handlebars.
More than anything, that rebound of especially an unloaded truck bed seems to be more of a problem than whether or not you're going to bottom out, because that's
that's why I always keep a cooler in my bed while I'm trying to preload.
Loaded with LaCroix or what?
Yes, LaCroix. That's
is that booze? I'm assuming that's booze.
No, LaCroix is seltzer water.
Perrier.
I did want to mention the Bilstein 8112s that just kind of recently come out. Like I think those are a big contender for one of the eating a lot of the Fox King Icon market. Just like their zone control in the front is just. It's truly bottomless suspension. I've been in a couple of vehicles now, and like just with that coilover, no external bump stops or anything. It is incredibly plush off-road, hitting it very hard. So really impressed with those. And I've been in King 2.5 with adjusters and Fox 2.5 DSCs, quite a few vehicles there, and these off the shelf, no custom tune or anything like that, are just super nice for the really high speed kind of user.
Well, and I think that's an important point, is that some of the higher end products, you can go higher because they're tunable and rebuildable and all these things.
Mm-hmm.
But 99% of the people that buy them and throw them on their Gen 3 Tacoma aren't going to do any of that. They're just and
they don't even know that you need to service them.
Yes, they're not gonna get them tuned to their load. They're not gonna do, you know what I mean? Whereas a product that may not have the brand recognition, but can come out of the box, get mounted to the truck, and do what you need it to do consistently, that may be a better fit for you.
Yeah, I mean, comes with the price tag, but the technology and some of this newer stuff is like no one's done it before in the shock world. So that's like promising a lot of electronic stuff. You're going to see a lot more electronic shocks coming out from SDI, and Falcon's got quite a few electronic options for their Jeep stuff. And
Falcon was the first one I saw at SEMA 2 years ago,
they
and
had
then
some in the front only.
Yeah. Well, no,
Icon has theirs.
Icon has them now.
Icon
It's going to be a thing, right? And
it's the natural progression.
It's like on the fly too, right?
Yeah, it's using a gyroscope mounted like under your seat, and it dampens.
A
Huda
gyros, like those Greek sandwiches.
Yes, it's a gyro, and then what you do is you reach down and pull out the chunks.
It comes with Greek sandwiches.
Greek sandwiches that run your shocks.
That's
I'm not a shock scientist. I don't know. I'm not a deli scientist either.
I might be a sandwich.
You are. You've eaten enough sandwiches to where you could.
I'll be honest with you. I think my opinion on sandwiches is valid.
No. So other than, or maybe this is the answer. What's the next iteration of suspension that you're excited about seeing?
This is the electronic stuff that I've seen so far is pretty good. We were recently helping. I think the cat's already out of the bag, so I can say it. But SDI is working on Tacoma and 4Runner electronic adjustable suspension. Icon, they've already hit the market with that. I don't know if they're actually available, but Icon's their CDEV stuff. Haven't ridden any of that yet, but a lot of these electronic. All of it is just kind of flyby, the shock feels the input and makes the adjustment to your compression and your rebound. So it's not anything too new there. But what's been going on in the live valve world of Fox, so like Kawasaki and Polaris and Can-Am, they all use Fox's shocks with live valve usually. Not all models or whatnot, but like they all get Fox live valve shocks, and they put their own algorithms into it. And some people's algorithms are better than other people's algorithms. But like SDI, they use the onboard computer to give input to the shock to make the adjustment. And some other brands, they aren't using the onboard computer, and they're just relying on the computer for the shock and what input it feels to make the adjustment. So a little bit different. So a lot of these electronic packages are similar or same and using different kind of computer software to make changes. But that you're definitely going to see a lot more of that. That's really expensive stuff. I think most of them are starting at like 4Gs, but you really get the best of both worlds. And when you like to go fast, but you also like to haul around the family, separately, that's that user where they're buying it for life. They get a new vehicle. They know exactly what they're going to do for the next 5 years. They're pushing it hard. And so they're going to, invest in suspension right up front, which is kind of what I kind of do. So
you said the Power Wagon that you're driving now, is that a long-term vehicle for you for a while?
I think so. Yeah, it's become that way. It was really just going to be a testing situation, but
so was Jose. Jose was just here for a test, and now he's at my house every week.
Yeah, the power is great. I'm not too sure if I really like the Ram platform. I've never had a diesel, and so I'm thinking about that, because when it gets loaded down with like my usual, the entire family and the dog, and we're on the road for 2 weeks, it gets pretty. I think the Carly suspension right now is just too soft for it, so that might be flavoring my thoughts on it. And I think it's a little bit underpowered for trying to carry around 1,500 fucking pounds. So I'm thinking towards a diesel.
Cody does in his Ranger.
Yeah, dude, I could fit everything. I take everything with me on trips. Like, we're going on a family trip in a few weeks here, and I'm already having anxiety about not having enough room.
Pro Shop.
Yes, I don't have enough room to take all of my stuff, so I may have to pre-mail boxes to the destination so that I have
supply drops.
Yeah, supply drops on my road trip that I never leave the highway for. So
Pony Express Uber.
Yes, I'm gonna have to invite somebody else to come with me so that they can carry extra stuff.
I'll go.
I try to be minimal, but like when you get the family and it's just like impossible.
I would love to blame it on my family, but it's not them. It's never them. It's all me and my shit. Well, I mean, what do you have another trip coming up? I mean, are you packing up the Power Wagon and going anywhere anytime soon?
We're going to Tucson next week. Check out a family event and whatnot, and then I think we're going in April. We're going to head out to Utah to Expedition 1 and pick up a bumper, and then check out Monument Valley, and just like kind of the southeast portion of Utah that I've never been to. I've been to Moab a billion times, but I've never really been to the Monument area and kind of
Zion,
Grand
right?
Escalante.
Yeah.
If any of you guys want to join, more than welcome to. End of April.
This job thing there I got to do. I'm already taking the first week of April off. That's too much.
Nice.
Well, what's next, man? What's next for you guys, for the brand, for the website, for the things that you're working on? Where do you want to go next with this?
We're really trying to get our hands dirty a lot more with shock building and shock tuning, just because we know a lot of people are just tossing their Fox 2.0s, right? A lot of wasted shock out there. We're really trying to get into more demo stuff. So you want to, like you guys were talking about before, there's no one's allowing you to freaking demo those 2.5 coilovers, right? But I think I'm piecing together a plan to be able to make that happen for some of our some of our customers. So we really want to get our hands dirty and, what's the difference between this shock and that shock, and get them on dynos, because that's, you could believe everything. You could believe or not believe what our experience, but like a dyno chart will tell another piece of the story. So really it's just going all in on kind of the education side of things. There's that, and seeing a lot more places, more vehicles. We've got a Bronco on order, so really just I've told my team a lot, let's not try to get fancy. We're not trying to be fancy over here. We're really just trying to stick to the basics, and everything that's in front of us, if we just stick to the basics, we can continue helping out just tons of people and doing what we know to do, which is just bring our own experiences, to YouTube and places like this.
Yeah. I love the idea of the demo piece,
keeping it simple too.
The dyno, and I feel like putting a butt in a seat makes a difference, right? I mean, it doesn't mean that if you have 3 Tacomas with
if you had he had just sparked an idea.
Oh no, hold on, let
go.
This go.
Get ready.
All right, hold on.
How much time you got?
I'm ready. I got my pen.
But I mean, think about it. The ideal situation is you get to drive your truck with different suspensions. So whether it's a Tacoma Gen 2 or whatever, and it was already set up for you somewhere. Hashtag this is my idea. I don't have the money to make it happen, but you got to drive your truck with different suspensions on it, and whether it's set up for rock crawling, speeding across the desert, sitting in traffic, going to the mall, whatever, you got to see what your money would actually pay for.
Yeah.
That would be an amazing thing, because again, even if it meant you paid $200 or $300 to experience that, so that when you spent your $5,000, you knew you were getting exactly what you wanted.
Well, and I don't even think it needs to be that
Hashtag
deep.
That's my idea.
Hashtag Matt's shock demo service. I don't even think it needs to be that detailed. I feel like for most people, if you had the same truck,
but this is the next best thing.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if you had 3 Tacomas on 3 different shock suspension systems,
better, and best,
and I got to drive it and go, okay, I may not have enough ability to discern the difference between X and Y or Y and Z, but if I get in a vehicle equipped with this suspension and I drive it and I go, I didn't hate that, I'm going to feel okay about buying that suspension. You know what I mean? Whereas literally 30 seconds after putting the suspension on my first Tacoma, I knew I fucked up and there was nothing I could do about it, right? If I had the ability to do that, how many of us, like, before you go spend that money, you're going to talk to somebody, you're going to listen to a podcast, you're going to go on forums, you're going to watch YouTube, right? So imagine just being able
Sean, to... you're like a new co-host. I think you're just going to have to come on a regular basis.
Trail Recon, you guys know Brad. He did that with like 6 or 7 Jeeps last year on the different lift kits, and I saw that. I was like, damn, that's exactly what I want to do with shocks.
Yeah,
we're trying to set up, we're trying to plan ahead and figure out like how best to. Basically, it's a ride and drive, right?
Yeah.
With like stock vehicles, and I'd really like to do that because that's nothing. There's no replacement for.
And unfortunately, now you have to cut me in because 2 minutes ago I already said that was my idea.
Yeah, you hashtag it.
I have another
you have
question.
Legal rights to this now.
I did hashtag. Did I hashtag?
You did hashtag it.
So what do you drive now?
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, but if you say hashtag before you say an idea, legally you own that idea now. And Matt's apparently Matt's going to be a millionaire someday.
I have another question, and again, you don't have to answer if you don't want to. Doing all these shock comparisons and finding out what works on all these, has there ever been talk of starting a shock surplus brand of your own, like your own shock brand?
Yeah, there's probably like 2 or 3 plans there that are just waiting to write a check for. But it's one of those things where
if you need someplace to send that check, I can give you my address off the air. You can just go ahead and send it. You won't get any shocks for it, but
there's it's one of those like where do we focus, right? And it's kind of one of those things, and there's still a lot to be done in our space that we currently do well. Setting up a line of manufacturing and holding inventory and all that stuff is going to require a whole
it's a big
it's a whole separate entity.
Cost.
It's a whole
sure.
separate entity with its own separate operation and management team and all that.
Yeah.
It's a big undertaking.
And we've done that, and I really like the idea. I like it's more control of brand at that point, right? Because right now we're just retailing all these other brands, and we're kind of beholden to agreements and this and that, or all that stuff, right? Whereas you have your own product, you have just full control of the brand, top to bottom. Yeah. So that's really, really attractive, and I've been in that space before with MaxTrack, but. Yeah, just commitment and focus right now. That's kind of preventing us. And with the whole supply chain thing, we're kind of waiting for all the dust to settle. And now, we'll see what happens in the next year or two.
Well, I based on where you guys have come from, where you started, I have no reason to believe it's not going to be amazing. The next year or two, I'm super impressed with not only the content and the website and what you've created, but your personality and background that feeds into it. Like the idea that I don't know how many times tonight you talked about educating people and providing a service. It wasn't about, we're going to increase margin by
selling
X amount.
product.
It was very much I'm a member of this community. I do this. I want to share knowledge with people to make their lives easier and or better. And that's super impressive. And I really appreciate you taking the time to come on and tell this story, because it's inspirational.
Thanks, man. Yeah. I just feel like everyone can, it's really easy to drop ship and to kind of sell parts and do that thing. And honestly, after we've been doing this for a little while, but a recent kind of term that I read a lot of business books and listen to e-commerce podcasts just to learn how to grow the business and do that stuff. But all the business owners out there that are listening right now, you think about negative acquisition cost. So that's kind of just one thing I like to share, which is customer acquisition cost is like advertising, right? You spend between 5 and 10, 15% of your sale to get that customer. But education ends up being negative acquisition costs, because an educational resource that lives on YouTube forever is just getting people and building your audience. And what did it cost to put it up on YouTube? It's free, right? Just costs time. And so that's not why I'm doing it, but it's kind of like the business sense. It's kind of becoming clear on why it kind of works, I guess you can say. But yeah, so just business owners out there, just help your customer a lot more than you currently do. I think we can all do that.
Yeah, there's I forget which book it was, but there was a whole philosophy around make the customer the hero. The business shouldn't be about you as the person in the business. The business should be about making the customer the hero, whether it be they're the hero because they got a great deal, or the hero because they got the latest product, or the hero because they can now be an advocate for something. Like that piece of it will take your business further than you being the hero because you have built this business. And I think you kind of exemplify that. I
think one of those is Build Raving Fans.
Yes.
I think that might be the book, or one of the books that talk about that as well. Yeah. And that's kind of what that's kind of what I've been trying to do. So as far as, in December, when we took that Mammoth trip, one of our customers, Buzz, he has a Tundra, set him up on some 8112s. And that's just kind of what we do. It's just set our customer up, accentuate whatever they like to do with their rig, and let's go party. Let's go have fun.
Yeah.
And so, it ends up being one of that perspective of, make your customer the hero. And it serves a lot of purposes for us. We love being out there on the trail for one, but also see how they use it, see what their feedback is. Let's all take drives in it, see what the differences are. So there's a lot of benefits, if you do it right.
Yeah, I agree. Look, man, you've been great. This is apparently a couple years in the making since my brother dropped his business card on your truck.
I've been thinking about it a lot. We got to do a trail run too.
Let's do it. I mean, we were just trying to figure out when our next expedition is. We're going to do a Patreon only overnight camping. I'll send you the details for that locally here. And so, yeah, I would love to connect. I think offline there's a lot more conversation we could have about a bunch of stuff that's interesting to me, not only from what you're doing in the off-road and suspension world, but in the business world. It sounds like someone like you that started this from like, again, Matt, going from his bedroom, to where it is today. There's a lot of knowledge to be shared.
I don't want you to reference me when you're referencing his bedroom, just because I referenced how weird it is. Look, you know what I'm saying? Keep me out of it.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, any other than everybody needs to go to the Shock Surplus website, shocksurplus.com, or the Instagram page, Shock Surplus, the YouTube page, and just about everywhere else, Shock Surplus, to check out what you guys are working on. Is there anything else you want to tell us or tell people before we give you the rest of your night back?
No, not really. No, we're just here to help. And I still respond to customer inquiries. Hit me up at Sean@shocksurplus.com. I'd love to help out anytime I can.
Awesome. Well, dude, thank you so much for your time tonight. We appreciate it. We really love what you're doing, and hopefully we get the chance to connect again soon.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sean.
All right, we will end the recording there. We are still live. We still got a bunch of people in the chat room and still live. That was a great conversation, dude. Super interesting. Super inspirational. I dig what you guys are doing, man. And I love the fact that you're a SoCal guy that built it down here.
I never got into the high speed off road stuff though. We got a lot of customers that really want that, but
high speed is relative, right? I mean, we're not.
I drive a 94 Land Cruiser. High speed for me is like 45 miles an hour.
Yeah, on the freeway. On the freeway is high speed for him. Like, I mean, we like to push the limits of the vehicle, but I've got a 2019 Ranger that's my daily driver. I got to get to work and back. You know what I mean? So it's not like we're doing Baja. But yeah,
it feels like Baja though.
Yeah. Well, going back to my old Tacoma. 30 miles an hour was high speed because you couldn't control that shit.
It was geriatric.
It was bad.
We usually don't get to the Terra Crew level of off-road market, So we address the lower 90%.
Yes, agreed. All right, man. Well, seriously, what we'll do is I'll get this edited. I'll send you an email with an update as to when it gets posted and when it's ready to go. Cool. We'll post it on all of our social media platforms to drive traffic to the episode to hear your story. And if between now and then, or even after the show comes out, if you're going to be local for a while, let us know. I'll try to keep you informed on when we're going to do our next trip. We still haven't figured that out, but we'd love the chance to connect with you again in the future.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks so much, guys. I super appreciate the time, and we'll spread the word too when the episode hits, and love to support.
Awesome, man.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, dude. You have a great night.
All right, guys. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Take a leak.
No.
Real bad.
You can't do that.
Well, you guys can continue. You can talk shit about me.
Magic Lions.
Oh, you gotta.
3, 2, 1. All right, so Matt stepped out to use little boy's room. What's this Magic Lions? I thought for some reason last week I thought you said Magic Legs. We said something.
Well, well, we're talking about Lieutenant Dan.
Yes, so I heard Magic Legs.
Yeah, but then when Matt started talking about Voltron's package.
Yes, Voltron's sixth line. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, the sixth lion. The sixth lion playing Coachella
He's
this
like,
week.
what kind of lion is that? He's like, what lion is that? And I said, Magic Lion.
Oh, okay. Because you said it the same way you said.
Well, yeah, it was a callback to the other.
It was okay. So it's
called a call. I'm kind of a professional.
Somehow I missed the Magic Lions piece, but I do think the sixth lion is the new playing Coachella episode band.
Yeah, the sixth lion.
Who drives the sixth lion?
I think I think it's it's an
It's
AI.
it's got a brain of its own.
Yeah.
That sixth lion has got a mind of its own. It just, man, we're gonna have to repeat all this when Matt comes back from the bathroom. I don't know if anybody caught it, but there was a quick end to the show at the end because Matt was going down a path. It may have been in the post credits, but for anybody that didn't want to hear that part, they would have had to listen. So if you are a Patreon, we got a new Patreon. I gotta pull that up. If you are a Patreon, thank you. First of all, you all got a notice today of an update, and we have put together a map book. So let's see, Valkyrie is our new patron. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that.
We've put together a virtual map book, and we've taken all of the GPS files for a bunch of the trips that we've done over the course of, I don't know, some of these go back to like 2011, to be honest. And we've set it up so that if you are a Patreon, you have access to that map book now. And what it allows you to do is go to that page and download the GPS files for each of those locations. We've got Anza Borrego, Azusa Canyon, Bailey Canyon, Big Bear, multiple trails in Big Bear, Calico, Cleghorn, Indian Truck Trail, Johnson Valley, the Kessel Run, Lido Creek, Mojave, Parker, Arizona, and Silverwood are all the different maps that are up there now. And we're just going to continue adding more maps to the page as we get more, because I think you have some that I don't have. Yeah. So basically, you can go to the specific Patreon only page and click the file, download it to your mobile device or your computer, and then I've provided there's a couple ways you can use these files, either through Google My Maps, GPX Viewer, Gaia. There's a tool called Viking. But I don't know if you noticed. I don't know if you went to the page and saw it, Jose. But twice on the page, I made note that you should use these files at your own risk.
Yeah, there's a strong disclaimer.
Use these files at your own risk. You should know better than to follow any directions we provide you. So don't go off a cliff on our behalf.
We also have 3 new reviews.
Oh, what? Oh, I'm scared. Like the way he said that, I'm scared.
There was a negative tone.
I know.
No, I'm just saying we have 3 reviews that we should have caught earlier.
Okay.
They're from last month. So
okay.
Not
all right.
too bad.
So before we get that, just if you are a Patreon, check the Patreon account.
And thank you again.
And yes, thank you. You've got the notification for the map book. I'm not putting it up on the screen, but
like a Thomas guide.
Most people don't know what that is.
Yeah, most people are.
But you guys remember them though, right?
Every day,
do,
dude.
yeah.
Every day.
My dad had like L.A. County, Orange County.
Yep.
And IE, like it's all dirt roads back then.
And no matter where you were going, it was on the next page. It was always in the corner of a fucking page that you couldn't get to. We have a couple. Oh no, these are new. Yep, just the new one is Valkyrie. Thank you, Valkyrie, for becoming a Patreon. So if you haven't already, check the Patreon account. You will get the notification for the map book. There was also an additional update about some of the other things that we're working on in the background. More to come for those that are Patreons, and we appreciate everything that you're doing, which includes.
I thought it was patrons. When speaking about
they are patrons on the Patreon account.
I'm confused.
Thank you, supporters.
The Trail Chaser support team.
The
Trail Chaser support team.
Thank you.
We will be sending out some more communication about an upcoming Patreon camp out and some other stuff that's happening. On to Jose and the reviews.
I'm not sure if we read this one already, but if we have, whatever.
Is it bad?
No.
Okay, then go ahead and read it again.
It's titled Pretty Good.
Nice. My entire life. That's all I've wanted. I've just wanted to be pretty good.
And this is from, I don't know if this is Tim. It's from Tim 1986. I think it might be.
Maybe.
I'm not sure, though, but he said, great podcast, excellent host, besides Cody. Ever since, it's probably Tim. Ever since 100, he's been on a bit of a pedestal, but the other guys make up for it with humor and good looks. I don't know about the good looks part.
Wow. Yes, I don't know what show he's watching, but it's definitely not this
well,
one.
we are a podcast, so
yes,
well, we're on YouTube though.
Whatever. I assume most people use their imagination.
And that was a 5-star.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Being
Well, then
pretty
obviously they're imagining Brad Pitt, somebody else.
Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill, and what's another hunky dude?
I'm Steve Buscemi.
Oh. which movie?
Wow, yeah. Fargo.
No, what's the
Reservoir Dogs?
No, I'm
Billy Madison.
I'm Steve Buscemi in
Mr. Deeds?
Mr. Deeds. Yes. West Chestertonville to Fieldville. West Chestertonfieldville. Yeah, that's I'm in Mr. Deeds. Okay. Well, thank you, Timmy.
Yeah. Next one is.
Was that confirmed that it's Tim?
It's not confirmed, but I think.
But the name was Tim.
It was Tim 1986.
Oh, okay.
So next one is labeled KOH, and it's from Rock Ranger.
Oh, nice.
It says, "Great to meet you at Camp Hammertown Estates. Talk to Nicole and Casey's wife. Add alcohol, and you're hilarious as F. Enjoy the podcast." Well, I don't remember meeting you, sir.
Or ma'am.
Or yeah.
Sir, ma'am.
Well, I love the fact that add alcohol and we're hilarious. So the key is everybody just needs to drink more. Tuesday nights, start drinking at 6 o'clock so that we're funny when the time we come on.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm doing it tonight.
And the newest one is Off-Roading Podcast Done. Listen along while
no. It says off-roaring podcast done well? ?
Oh, I don't see the entire
okay.
title. It says listen along. Whole Matt and Jose have a ton of fun talking about their off-road adventures and riff on each other in a good old boys fashion. All while Cody is trying to make this his job. Stop the jokes early and shoehorn good idea fairies into every episode.
The good idea fairies. Where have they been?
And that's from Night Envy.
We have not had any good idea fairies on this show in a while.
Ever. I don't know if we've ever had good idea fairies.
We need to get more good idea fairies on.
I'll take bad idea fairies because sometimes that's fun.
We're an equal opportunity.
Equal
fairies,
yes.
Sprites. Trolls.
Well, thank you to
thank you for
those of you
reviews.
that put in the reviews. Yeah, I appreciate it.
And again, that phone number is still live. So if you need love advice,
we do. What do we get? We got
financial.
Hold on,
financial advice.
I'm glad
that you should not listen to.
Yeah, spiritual.
You should actually. I mean, you can ask and then do the opposite. Is what I would recommend. But you can still ask for all that advice, like betting on games or sports. Certainly, I'll give you my opinion, and then again, do the opposite. But yeah, please. What was that number again?
951-394-DIRT. Mm-hmm. Okay, so speaking of voicemail, Elam tried to leave a voicemail and got cut off, so he sent his comments in an email. Thank you, Elam. So his message.
What cell service does he have?
In response to last weekend's Magic Lions episode.
Oh, did you guys, when I went...
Yes, you'll have to listen to it to find out.
Damn it.
So,
but did you give him enough shit about it?
Yes, he did.
All right,
yes,
good.
he did.
You.
We decided that the sixth lion has a mind of its own. There's nothing you do about it.
Oh, I can't wait to listen.
Well, the question was, who controls it? And
yeah.
No, it always has a mind of its own. Of course. Good on you guys. You guys did it. All right.
So Elam says, based on Chewbacca being a dog-inspired creature, he definitely has a red rocket. The big question, and it's probably huge, is which way would the rocket be aiming? On a dog, it's aiming forward, and if you were to stand up a dog in a bipedal manner, the unit is pointing straight up, which would seem to be awkward when you really got to take a leak. Also, if the position of the unit is to be somewhat similar to a dog, the rocket would be better suited perpendicular to the body, which would mean that the unit would have to protrude from the abdomen.
Going back.
Now he gets super...
Can you provide some
graphs?
Graphs or drawings or something, a sketch, like to help me understand. You said perpendicular.
He's not done.
Go.
dog genitalia have a baculum. It's a bone that would probably limit the size of the unit in a Wookiee. And since no one wants to have a Wookiee with a wee one, I think we should come to the consensus that the unit should be more like a traditional humanoid than a dog. Elam seriously put thought into that conversation.
I want to hear what Elam has to say about Voltron now. Like that was very articulate.
Oh, that's right. This wasn't a response to the Voltron comment. This was the Chewbacca
unit.
Which, of course, everybody, you have to listen past the credits sometimes for like the special, some special content.
My favorite part was the text message I got from Matt that said, "This week's episode ended in the perfect timing."
Oh, it was. It was like. It was great.
It was great.
No, it was perfect. It was perfect. Great job, editing department.
Thanks you, editing department, for all your...
I'll make sure to knock on the closet door there and say hello and shake your hand.
Thank you to the editing department for all of your hard work. Well, I think, going back to our conversation right after the interview, that we're trying to finalize a bunch of that Trail Chaser support team stuff. And we're planning on...
I saw you were giving me and Jose and Casey grief about...
Yeah, because you didn't like the first design of the Patreon stuff, so I have to make new ones.
Yeah, I mean, make it good.
I know.
Make something good.
Clearly, it sucks.
Can you make something... Yeah, can you make something that doesn't suck?
I will try.
It's a higher quality, please.
If I could... Never mind.
You want to put my name on it, I mean...
I will try to
I have certain expectations.
I will try to make one better. We're looking at an upcoming support team camp out. Just going to be an overnighter. A little bit of trailing, nothing major.
So, okay. I mean, can we discuss this briefly? I'm a little confused. There was like a mention of an overnighter, and then like Death Valley. Death Valley is not an overnighter.
No. There's two. There's the support team only overnight trip.
Okay.
And then there's the expedition.
Is that like your backyard? We all hang out in
the
pool. Sweet.
We jumped in the jacuzzi for the first time in a while this weekend. And
I did too. It was great.
So good.
Got that rusty water, huh?
Yeah.
It's minerals and
it's not getting started.
Things. Look, you know what? Sometimes you got to have some of those minerals. This is extra
iron.
Sure, just stuff to strengthen your bones and
the
your
heavy
teeth,
metals.
Strengthen your baculum.
Crunchy.
The Death Valley trip, that's the full expedition, but that's probably going to be later, especially like either end of April, early May.
It ain't Death Valley. It's that being pushed out to that time frame.
Well, whatever the trip is, it's got to be end of April, early May, based on all the stuff we got going on. So we'll have to figure out where that is. Danny in the chat room sent me a message with a potential location. The caveat was that he said that if we use that location, he gets to go.
Is it his house or something?
Yeah. He's like, I have to be
Dude,
there.
he hashtagged it, Matt. What do you want me to do? Hashtag this is my idea. I get to go. I can't. I don't have control over that.
No,
I don't have control of that.
100%.
If he hashtagged
that gets you in.
Again, look.
That doesn't mean we have to go and do it, though.
He's just saying.
Unless he hashtagged you have to trail chaser.
No, he didn't.
He
didn't hashtag we have to go. He just said hashtag if you go.
Yeah, well,
hashtag I get to go. Hashtag if you go.
He blew it.
So so we're working on that stuff. Anything else?
Is that Danny? Ooh.
I think
Danny
it's
Danny O.
Yeah, Danny O.
Is that ooh or O?
Oh.
What? You don't know the difference between ooh and O?
No, dude, look at me. Dude. It's all the same to me, dude.
Does it look like I know the difference?
Yeah, it's all noise to me. Like, pleasant or not.
I mean, I'm sure you know how you sound. You don't know how anybody else sounds with those two things.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anything else before we end it tonight, guys?
No.
What
thank you again.
What happened to Casey? Wasn't he? He was
we started eating Chick-fil-A, dude.
Yeah. Well, he's driving, and he was driving up to Big Bear.
I mean, he could have busted a mat and just pointed the forward camera.
I'd have gotten here. Shit. I don't know, 15 minutes or something from where he was, La Palma and Anaheim. That's pretty much where I was when I called in. I was here 15 minutes. In traffic.
No, look, no one can drive like you can drive. I get that.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us in the chat room and for all the support. And thank you to Sean for the interview. Good conversation tonight. And we will catch up with you guys next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. I'm going to turn off the stream. Thank you, everybody, for joining us in the chat room. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
I feel like we're getting the boot tonight.